Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 4 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we go to Michigan in both the Xfinity Series and in the Cup Series, so hopefully we can have some success here today. Obviously Michigan, a track that I had a lot of second place finishes at in NASCAR Heat 3, so we'll see obviously how it goes today. But in the Xfinity Series we had subscriber Chase Now in the car as he started about midfield. That's kind of been our average starting position this season with this car, so hopefully we can definitely get a little bit better. Obviously, we're still running for Stuart Haas Racing this season because of that bug that was in the game, but as we came through to the midpoint of this race, Now, he had moved his way a little bit forwards, actually, trying to get past Brandon Jones there in the 19 cars. He came through out of turns 4, heading down the front straightaways. He came down the front straightaway. He would be able to get clear of the 19 of Brandon Jones, so he came to the final lap now through turns 3 and on the exit of turns 4. Chase Now heading down the front straightaway. Wasn't going to be the greatest finish, but we've struggled a little bit this season, so it's understandable. As he crossed the line, he would finish P11, just barely outside the top 10 there, as Christopher Bell won the race. So now it was time to set our sights on the Cup Series race here in Michigan. Obviously, we have to qualify first. A track that I don't usually qualify very well at. We've struggled with qualifying this season at the majority of racetracks now as we come through the front straightaway. Running the Aeros paint scheme for this one as we hit a 39.095, and that puts us P16 here for the start of Michigan. So about the average start we've had this season. We are always around P16, and we have Kurt Busch on the pole. So let's get to it here at Michigan.
Today it's Michigan International Speedway for the Firekeepers Casino 400. This D-shaped 2-mile oval is fast. In fact, this track is the fastest track on the schedule, with speeds reaching more than 200 miles per hour. So buckle up. NASCAR racing is up next.
Alright, there you have it from Rick Allen. We're ready to go green here. Ryan Newman likes us, so he should give us plenty of room on the track today. Eric Almirola looks a bit slow today, obviously one of our Stuart Haas Racing teammates, so unfortunate for him. Kyle Busch had an engine change after qualifying. He's starting at the back, so we'll see if Kyle Busch can work his way through the field today here in Michigan, which I'm assuming he will be. A strong competitor late in this race as we get ready to go green. The green flag is out here in Michigan, and we are underway. This is one of the tracks that's kind of like in the Cup Series, one of the closest tracks to me. Obviously, being Canadian, we don't have any Cup Series tracks in Canada, but Michigan and Watkins Glen are kind of the two closest tracks to me. They're both about approximately like 4.5 or so hours apart or away from me, so kind of my home tracks, if you want to call them now, as we came through turns 1 and turns 2, heading down this back straightaway for the first time here today at Michigan. You see Jimmie Johnson, he was up ahead. He's had a bit of a struggle this season in our career mode and in real life, of course. Actually, Jimmie Johnson might have been behind me. I did see him somewhere. There he is behind us on that top lane. So Johnson, he's one of the drivers that's close to being in the playoffs right now, but just a little bit on the outside, so he definitely is in need of some good runs if he wants to make it into the playoff this season. Now as we come through, crossing the line, completing the opening lap here at Michigan. David Reagan up there in P11 now as we came through on lap 3, running about P12 as William Byron actually would get to my inside as we came out of turn 2, heading down this back straightaway. Joey Logano at this point leading the way now as we go down this back straightaway side by side with the 24 of William Byron. Certainly I've noticed a lot in the Cup Series, at least in NASCAR Heat 4. The draft is incredibly important at anything that's really not a road course or a short track. The mile and a half is really important as well, which gets a little frustrating at times as we go down into turns 1 and turns 2. We would end up getting our first caution of the day actually here in Michigan. I couldn't find what brought out that caution in the replay mode, so we would get right back into the action. No one came to the pit lane, so we get right back into the action now as the green flag is out once again. We are underway here at Michigan, and it looks like it is Denny Hamlin, I believe, leading the way. He's up there with the 22 of Joey Logano. How coincidental is that now as we go down towards turns 1 on the inside of David Reagan, to the inside of the 24 of William Byron, as well as we go down through the center of the corner. Hamlin and Logano side by side for the lead up there now as Byron gets clear of myself, but he tries to get in the middle of a 3-wide nearly with Kurt Busch and Eric Jones now as we have David Reagan on our outside as we go down this back straightaway for the first time on this restart as we go down into turn 3 behind the 20 of Jones. Restarts certainly get pretty intense and aggressive here at Michigan, but I was certainly learning quickly that kind of after the restarts everything kind of starts to get into almost a single file line for the most part. So that was a bit of a concern now as we come through, crossing the line, looking to the inside of the 23 wide with Byron and Jones, and the 3 wide up ahead with Truex, Keselowski, and Kurt Busch as we go down into turns 1. A bit of a poor entry, and I had to back out of it, so we would fade in behind the 24. William Byron getting into the wall here on lap 12 of 14, and that would allow the 31 of Reddick and the 8 of Hemrick to get past. Now, as we would actually repass Tyler Reddick as we were coming to the white flag, we would get a caution here in the first stage, and that would end the stage about a lap early. So we get P13 here in stage 1. Not a great effort as Denny Hamlin does win the stage. Joey Logano P2, and I would actually make a very slight wedge adjustment to Kensfield, of course, 4 tires. We lose no positions, so we get ready to start the second stage from P13 here at Michigan International Speedway behind the 24 of William Byron. Now as the green flag is back out, and once again, we are underway. William Byron in our career modes had a decent start to the season, but he definitely is going to need to improve if he wants to get to the playoffs now, as we're going to have a quick little crank it up, so I'll see you guys in a few moments.
Careful, still there. Stay low, stay low. Stay at the bottom. Careful, still there. Stay low, stay low. All right, you're clear there.
Alright, there was your crank it up here today at Michigan, running P10 at that point as we crossed the line, but we'd actually dropped to P12, getting passed by Kyle Busch and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., I believe it was. So we were certainly struggling a little bit here in this second stage, but with that draft, we'd be able to get to the inside of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. as we went down into turns 1. Maybe going to try and send it up through the inside and clear Stenhouse, just barely clearing him through the center of the corner. So we would take back the 11th position, at least, from the 17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr., but now we would come through. Kyle Busch had passed William Byron, so I would come through following and get to the inside of William Byron as well on lap 10 of 13 here in the second stage as we went down into turns 1, clearing Byron for 10th. So we were about a 10th place car, it felt like, as Byron actually would battle back on the inside here as we came through a lap later on lap 11 of 13 in the second stage. So Byron clears, we exit turn 2, and not a good exit at all. That allows Stenhouse to go on my outside, and he gets clear as well, so we drop down back again to P12. So we come through on lap 12 of 13 in the stage, and we would end up getting a caution again, and that would end the second stage about a lap and a half earlier. So as Denny Hamlin is credited once again with the stage victory. Hamlin's having an incredible start to our season in our career mode. He is already putting himself to be a playoff favorite. So we already come through into the final stage, gaining 2 positions here on the pit lane, and now we have ourselves in the top 10. No stage points today, so that's a bit of a hit. Obviously, we're locked into the playoffs. We can take a hit like that now as we are underway with 20 laps to go here at Michigan International Speedway. Behind us is Kyle Busch and Tyler Reddick in the 18 and 31 as we're going to get down in front of Kyle Busch. The inside lane is so important as they're getting very aggressive here on this restart. 3 wide up ahead with Stenhouse, Byron, Jones, Logano, multiple others included now as you exit turn 2, heading down the back straightaway. Clint Boyer, our teammate, is trying to take the lead. Boyer with a lot of experience in the series, looking for win number 1 on the season as he tries to look to the inside of Denny Hamlin to take that lead. But Hamlin has such a strong race car today here in Michigan as we come through turns 3 and on the exit of turns 4, heading down this front straightaway. Boyer that now to the inside of Denny Hamlin as we come through down the front straightaway, crossing the line, completing the first lap of this final stage. Clint Boyer has found some speed here today in Michigan, and he just is trying to get past Hamlin, but he certainly was struggling as he would end up fading in behind Hamlin, who had completed just holding off Boyer for the lead now as we came through on lap 32, hitting lap 33, 18 to go, making it 3 wide here with Byron and Eric Jones. We went down into turns 1. I think we went 3 wide with them earlier in the race. Now as we are going to slide up in front of the 24 and the 20 of Jones and Byron's going to cross back over to get to the inside as we exit turn 2. A little bit of contact with the 24 as we go down this back straightaway. Got a little bit sideways on the exit of the corner, and I just kind of got into the 24 as we would fade in behind him though as we went down into turns 3. And we would continue behind the 24 of William Byron now as we came to lap 34. Hamlin still leading, Bowman second as we make it way to the inside and get ahead of Byron. The cars that were running the top certainly had a lot of momentum down the straightaway, but on the entrance of the corner I was really able to take advantage. And as we came through, unfortunately though on lap 36, Harvick had actually gotten to my inside and Stenos on my outside as we make contact with the 17 on his left rear and get sideways, nearly crashing, but thankfully we hold on to the car. But at this point, a bit of a mistake cost us a bunch of positions, now down to P9 as Eric Jones gets to my inside as well as we go down into turns 1. Stenos way up on the wall, so a big interesting call from Stenos to run up there because he's probably going to lose a lot of time as we're sideways on the exit of turn 2, but we do hold on at that point, running P9 as we came out of turn 2 now on lap 39, getting close to 10 laps to go at this point. Now as we go down towards turns 1, continuing to run here with Keselowski, Eric Jones, and the 18 of Kyle Busch, who was just lurking right behind us. Kevin Harvick, our teammate, just up ahead, a one-time Cup Series champion now as we exit turn 2, heading down this back straightaway, just trying to find the right time to really make a move on these guys, but it was certainly tough as you can see how spread out everything was at this point. Denny Hamlin leading the way. He's just hoping that we don't get a caution at this point because he's in a really good position as we came through turn 3, and there's a caution though right there as that's going to now force us to the pit lane because we were about to have to make a green flag pit stop, and this time I decided we're going to take right side tires and then 1 can of fuel, and to my surprise I finally got the pit strategy right. We did lose 1 position on pit road driving down to P10, but we finally got a pit call correct late here in Michigan. This forces a late race restart here in Michigan International Speedways. We are underway. It looks like Alex Bowman beat Denny Hamlin off of the pit lane, and now Hamlin's leading that outside lane, and that might be very bad for him because he's had the fastest car today, but that outside lane is terrible on restarts, and Bowman already clear of Denny Hamlin for the lead. Joey Logano nearly clear of Denny Hamlin as well as we come through turns 1 and turns 2. Obviously, myself being on the top, we're trying to find a way to the bottom as quickly as possible as we go down this back straight with the 2 Busch brothers side by side as we use that draft from Busch. We barely get clear of Truex. We slice to the inside as we look up the inside of the 2 Busch brothers 3 wide as we go down into turn 3, and the same for Tyler Reddick. We look up the inside of him. Eric Jones on that far top lane as we exit turn 4. A little bit of contact made with the 31 of Tyler Reddick as we go down this front straightaway, and Jones gets out of that 3 wide. He has a ton of momentum, but he actually stalls behind the 2 of Keselowski. Decided to not really take that momentum to the inside of him as we went down into turns 1. There you see Hamlin continuing to fade at this point. We would fall in behind Jones though as we were now approaching the final lap here in Michigan. Logano had taken the lead from Bowman, and now there's trouble behind though. We have a spinner of Kurt Busch. Big trouble for the Ganassi driver of Kurt Busch as he crashes back into traffic and heavy damage on the 1 car. The caution came out once again just like Charlotte moments before the leader had taken the white flag, so this will force us into overtime. Joey Logano was moments from crossing the line and having that race won if that caution would have came out just a few seconds later, but now we are ready to go green here for overtime, a chance to maybe get a better finish for myself as the green flag is back out. P7 is where we run currently for this restart, and hopefully we can come out of here maybe with a top 5. Restarting on this inside lane, definitely going to be an opportunity. Logano and Bowman on that front row as we go down towards turns 1. Not a good restart at all for the 88 of Alex Bowman as we're going to look to the inside of these guys now as we come through turns 1 and turns 2. Keselowski, not a good restart. He's going 3 wide behind us. We get clear and we're sideways on the exit of turn 2, very sideways, but we hang on to the car as we go down this back straightaway, running P6 at the moment. Logano continues to lead as we go down towards turns 3. He's looking to make sure he's locked into the playoffs. Bowman, he already has a win. He's locked in. We look to the inside of our teammate of Kevin Harvick. Hamlin obviously locked into the playoffs. He has got multiple wins this season, the most wins of any driver right now as we come down this front straightaway using that draft to the best of my abilities. Now as the white flag is out in Michigan, we're going to push the 11 of Denny Hamlin. Obviously, me and Hamlin seem to work well together very well, actually, it seems like, this season. So I'm giving Denny a shove down those straightaways, seeing if I can help him out now, as he's obviously way ahead of us as we exit turn 2, heading down the back straightaway, contact with the 88 of Alex Bowman, but thankfully we hang on to it. Not going to be enough to obviously battle for the win as we go down towards turns 3 and turns 4. Joey Logano leads the way over our teammate of Clint Boyer, who's running the top 5 all day, but he hasn't quite had enough to get through to victory. Now as Joey Logano is going to come through and hang on for the win here in Michigan as we come through to cross the line with a 5th place finish. So I was very happy with a 5th place finish, because it obviously, most of this race we were about a 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th place car, and we managed to find a way to get a top 5 out of it. So definitely happy with that. Shows kind of what we can do with this team now. That's actually Logano's 2nd win of the season. Him and Kyle Busch are tied with 2 wins. There's my quote after the race. The car didn't have the speed we needed, but we managed to fight ourselves into a top 5. I'm excited for Sonoma, obviously, for the first road course race of the season in the next one. Obviously, though, I think Sonoma isn't going to be the typical Sonoma that we've had in NASCAR Heat 3. Obviously, every time we went there in NASCAR Heat 3, we were a contender to win. This time around, I think it's going to be a little bit different. Obviously, I truly believe Sonoma now is the worst road course in NASCAR Heat 4, because the road course physics with these cars in this game have been changed from Heat 3, and unfortunately, in my opinion, in a bad way. And then, obviously, at Sonoma, they just don't really seem to work well. Same as Canada, but hopefully we can somehow find our way into a top 10 finish there. It's going to be interesting, but as always, if you guys did enjoy this episode, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Those would all be very appreciated. There you see the point standings on your screen. Blaney, the last car, and Johnson, 35 out. So we'll see if Johnson can find his way in. So I will see you guys in the next one for Sonoma. Thank you for watching, everyone, and have yourselves a great day.